so we're back with another episode of Biz Mindz, and on this episode we have the owner of American Metal Roofing Supply, Mike Stevens. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, and once again, guys, thank you so much for having me. This is a privilege, and hopefully we can get a lot out today and kind of go from there.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the cigars.
Yeah,
right?
No problem. Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about, how you started, in what industry you started, and then kind of how that led you to opening up this business.
So this started back in a very long time ago. So back in 2011, just graduating college from DC. To be completely transparent, after college, I started working for our family business that my grandpa started back in 1965. It was it's a company called Ned Stevens Gutter Cleaning. So after college, started working for the family business, and so it was my sister, my brother, and my dad working for the business, and I was still trying to figure it out. 22, I wasn't really, to be completely transparent, I wasn't very focused on work, right? Like I was focused on partying and, Tinder and Bumble, and just not really thinking about, to be completely transparent, just not thinking about work, just having fun, partying, acting like a 22-year-old, right? So,
what were you doing in that company? What was your role?
That's a great question. Till this day, we're still trying to figure it out. Basically, just helping out with any day activities, like, helping out with the crews, daily checklists, helping out with sales. However, when later on, around May 2012, I was working with our IT guy, and I was talking to him. I'm like, listen, are there any ways to recruit laborers, foremen, helpers for the gutter cleaning industry? Because everything's so indirect and not effective. And he says, listen, we get guys, in all due respect, we get guys from 7-Eleven, it is what it is, right? Friends, family, your local 7-Eleven, labor unions, employment centers. I feel like, and then I said to myself, there has to be efficient ways to connect blue collar workers with employers. Let's face it. I was telling you earlier that, LinkedIn is really for white collar guys, people in private equity, investment banking, the whole 9 yards, right? But it's not really geared towards that typical construction worker, pipe fitter, plumber, the list goes on. Mm-hmm. So we were basically creating a recruiting platform and started our own company, which would be a subsidiary of Ned Stevens Gutter Cleaning. And it was going to be called bluecollarcontacts.com. And I'll send you the links. And basically, we were just trying to get companies to join and post jobs, interact with workers, and pretty much showcase their skills. Show us that construction job in Newark, New Jersey. Show us that, pipe fitting job in New York City, kind of showcase your work. So recruiters can connect with workers and showcase their, OSHA certifications, licenses, skills, the whole 9 yards. There's really no other platform like that back then. Now there's plenty of companies that they offer that, and I can go on, but we hosted job fairs. We, I spoke at vocational and trade schools, and, it didn't work out, but I realized that I had to put more work into it. I was only working 5 days a week. With any startup, it's got to be 24/7, right? There was something Mark Cuban said, when you own your own business, it's 24/7. You might get a message, at 9:30 at night, or, the whole case, whatever the case might be. And then your wife's like, what are you doing? Why are you always on your phone? I'm like, you have to do these things. How are you going to get ahead if you don't do those things, answer emails and, but so yeah, we started that, didn't work out, didn't put the time in. But the great thing about your 20s is you can make mistakes, right? Your 20s it's literally the time to figure out what you want to do. And the great thing about your 20s is you can make mistakes because you're still young, you're trying to figure it out. And, people always laugh at me, why would you start that? That's stupid, all this stuff. And it's I just cut off people, man. I just really focused on my craft and didn't work out. So we had to shut down the website in 2015. And then after that, I worked with the CFO, the chief financial officer of the company, just helping out with Excel spreadsheets, financial statements. And I realized I didn't like it up north. Everyone was super rude. The weather was absolutely horrible. It would get dark at 4:00, in February. Like right now it would be like pitch black.
Where are you from?
New Jersey. So I was born and raised in Livingston, New Jersey. Grew up in the Caldwells. And then my parents moved to Florida in 96. There was a really bad snowstorm in New Jersey, and they're like, this sucks. Let's move to Florida. And, we've lived in Florida for 28 years. But after college, I moved back to Jersey to work for the family business.
How big is the family business, your grandfather's business?
So right now, I can't disclose the numbers, but I'll tell you like the employees and it's nothing against you. It's just from a numbers standpoint.
Of course.
So back in 1989, when my dad bought the business, they had 4 trucks. In 2016, we sold, and now they have about, at that time there was 200 trucks, and now I want to say there's over 300 trucks. Wow. Gutter cleaning. And I think the great thing about that business model is that recurring revenue stream, right? When you have a recurring revenue stream, when you sell to a strategic buyer or a financial buyer, that multiple is high because of that recurring revenue stream. That's where a lot of subscription-based models, businesses with recurring revenue streams have a higher multiple because
they're great.
You're retaining that customer, right? So,
do you know around how many employees there was in the company when
I left? There was probably about, give or take, 300, 400 employees.
Wow.
Now, I haven't really talked to anyone from that company. They probably have about 500-600 employees. That's just a rough estimate.
Yeah. And you guys, your family sold that company?
Yeah. So we sold in 2016 to a financial buyer. So after we sold, our family moved to Florida. We just got tired of the snow, the weather. Also, too, dating up north. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, like you say hi to a girl, hey, can I buy you a drink? And they just give you. People are so rude and so impatient. But however, there's a lot of great things I've learned, right? Like urgency. Like, people think I'm crazy down here because if I want something, I send it immediately. And everyone's like, whoa, that was really fast. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing is like in New York, New Jersey, it's
a different pace.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think up north?
Because the cost of living is so high up north. You have, in order to eat, you have to fight. Like you have to,
beat the other people.
Survival of the fittest, like kind of like Charles Darwin's theory. Like in order to get ahead, you have to be a nut. Like I'm not trying to, I know it's like so funny. Like yesterday or a couple weeks ago, I had a guy's like, yeah, I have roof plans and, can you give me an estimate for a metal job? Sure. No problem. Just shoot me an email with the roof plans to my email. And, I expect, how long does it take? Like 5 minutes? Like, it's almost 2 weeks now. And I'm like, I don't want to be kind of like rude, but I'm like, with all due respect, how long does it take to shoot an email? Like, like I'm not trying to be rude, but everyone thinks I'm kind of rude. It's not. It's just up north. It's just so different. And that's why I found the love of my life. My wife keeps me grounded. She's from South Carolina. She's a sweetheart. And, I also have to thank my wife for everything. Like she's amazing. We've been together for 7 years. She brings me down and she's been my rock. And she's, we've had our highs and our very deep lows, but that's anything with any relationship, right? Like you're going to have, people don't see the great, the good, the bad, the ugly, like all 4, so.
How many years together?
We've been together for 7 years.
7 years.
She's amazing. I love you, sweetie. Don't worry. You're absolutely amazing. But we've
Is she going to watch the episode?
Yeah, she will. Absolutely. I told her about it. And if God forbid, if any of you guys get sick, we're all good. She's a nurse practitioner. So, she's great, by the way. She's amazing. So, moved down here 2017, back to Florida. We loved it. We've been here ever since, for the past 7 years. And we realized we were ordering material for our houses, and we realized the lead times from our competition in terms of the delivery was taking forever. And that's how we came up with the idea for American Metal Roofing Supply. And, I think, we started right after my wedding. So after October 2020, we were learning the terminology of all the different trim, the panels. We were watching the Metal Roofing channel on YouTube, just really learning the content and the terminology. Like, we were kind of getting obsessed with it, but that's what you have to do to kind of learn, is just keep on watching the videos. So then I got married. We opened up our business late December 2020. And I feel like with any startup company, everyone thinks, okay, I'm the CFO, I'm the CEO. No, everyone's the CEO of everything. If you have to clean the toilets, you have to clean the toilets. If you have to deliver the metal, you have to deliver the metal. When you have a startup, there's no, I'm not going to do that because I'm not the labor guy. No, you're going to do it. And we're going to figure out a reason how we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. So when you're in the beginning stages, it's literally, you're the CEO of everything. Mm-hmm. There's no titles, just go to work and be quiet. I'm not trying to be rude. You have to do those things. And even with you guys, when you started a year ago, hey, you got to be a team player. Hey, can you do this for me? Yeah, no problem. You have to, it's a collective effort.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us a little bit more about your current company. What are the exact, or some examples of the products or service that you guys sell right now?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So we're predominantly a standing seam supplier. Basically what that means is we're a hidden fastener, concealed fastener system. We sell material to contractors. So it's our business model is B2B. So for example, when I was walking into this building, so you guys, this is like a 5E exposed fastener system, which we're going to start selling, because you see how those exposed screws on the roof when you're walking in the building. Did you guys see that? Like for this building, we're starting to sell those in the next couple of weeks. But those are 5E panels. But with standing seam, it's the Louis Vuitton of roofing systems, right? Like it's going to last. The great thing with standing seam metal roofing systems is they typically last roughly 45 plus years. Low maintenance. It can withstand hurricane winds up to 150 plus miles an hour. So after Hurricane Ian, it really helped our business. I tell people all the time, wow, with marketing and advertising, who's your chief marketing officer? And I said, Hurricane Ian was our chief marketing officer. And the thing that it didn't make sense to me is like all these digital marketing agencies and SEO companies, were reaching out after the storm and like, do you guys need leads? I'm like, do you guys do your homework? We literally just had one of the worst storms in state history, and you're asking me if I need leads. I don't mind. Like, we're all here to hustle, right? We're all here to work. But with all due respect, you have to do your due diligence and your homework, because that's like an earthquake hits California and you're reaching out to builders and construction companies in the area. Hey, do you need leads? Like I just start laughing, but that really helped us out. But we went through a lot of crazy stuff. In the beginning, we had about roughly 3 employees. And now we're at about, I'll tell you right, hold on one second. Brought to you by, so right now we have about 12 to 15 employees.
Nice. And you guys started in 2020?
Late 2020. So it was right after I got married.
3 years.
Yeah, so we've been in business for over.
How were you guys getting your leads? I know that the hurricane happened, but how were they coming through? Were they coming through opting in through your website,
Google,
just calling?
Those are such great questions. So basically, in the beginning, what I would do is I would go to different networking events and association meetings. So, for example, I used to go to the RCASF meetings, which is the Roofing Contractors Association of South Florida. I would go to those networking events, and the great thing about these networking events is roofers are relaxed and they're having a couple drinks, and you just talk to them. Some are going to say, hey, no, we're not interested. We have a relationship with your competitor for the past 10 years. We're just not interested. So it's literally a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going to these key events, not only the RCSF, but FRSA events, which is the Florida Roofing Sheet Metal and Expo. Association. We've been going to the Southwest Florida Roofing Contractors Association, to those networking events, learning about building codes. And the great thing about these events, everyone's relaxing, everyone's having a beer, everyone's having food, and you just talk and you introduce yourself. And it's like anything else. It's like dating. There's some that are going to say yes, and there's some that are clearly going to say no. And that's just, it's a hit or miss. And that's really helped us out. And then also too, I've been a social media nut. So content development, engagement, posting photos of metal roofing jobs, and also interacting with customers through social media. If they have any questions, the most important thing with any business is having urgency and being responsive. Like, it's literally like the one thing, because I've had calls from customers that are like, wow, that was quick. How, you just have to be quick. You learn that, from being up north. It's like, you have to do that. Like, it's the simple things that, but.
What are your thoughts on, from here to being up north? Do you think because it's polar opposites, right?
100%.
Like, it'd be a little different if you go from Jersey to Miami, because it's, Miami's fast paced also. But what are your thoughts on, Jersey to Naples and the opportunity there is here in Naples? Because it is slower pace. It's picking up a little bit compared to what it was. But what are your thoughts on just being here in Naples, being in a business, and there being opportunity for the business?
I think that the key difference is up north, everyone's so direct and transparent, which I kind of miss. Down here, everyone's, more relaxed and they take their time. But down here, there's a lot of great opportunities if you go to the right networking events, and a lot of getting leads, honestly, for this business is traditional. Going to a local bar and sitting, hey, how's it going? Mike Stevens, oh, I'm Bob Smith with Bob Smith Roofing. Okay, hey, we'd definitely love for you to consider us for future metal roofing projects. Can I get your business card? Yeah. They're not going to say no. It's a free estimate. Mm-hmm. The worst they're going to say is, hey, maybe your prices are a little high, but our products are great, So it's a lot of social media, networking events, and traditional. There's times when I'm driving down 75 and I see a truck that I'm not familiar with. I literally go on Instagram, type in that company name and follow them and message them. Hey, listen, we're running a promo on this. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And like anything else, there's some people that are interested and there's some that are not, know?
Yeah. And it's crazy that you said that, because you said you go on Instagram, right?
Everyone's on Instagram.
How important, right, is it for?
Oh my God. It's literally, it's the new, it's the Gen Z millennial way, right? Like, you guys look, how old are you? 25?
27.
20. Okay. So are you considered Gen Z or millennial?
I think on the cusp of like the last couple years of millennial.
Okay. Yeah. So we're all in the same age. It looks like we're all about the same age. I'm 35 and, it's, my parents, are baby boomers, and, a lot of them think of the traditional way of being in a cubicle and blah, blah, blah. But everything's on, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. And the key thing with social media is not just the content, but engaging with your customers when they like your pics. Hey, check it out. We have a 24 gauge Regal Blue that we just dropped off in Port Charlotte. Oh, great. Hey, let's connect. Boom. So social media is a very powerful tool. And
it's so important for businesses today. It's crazy because a lot of people search that before they even search you on Google. It's almost like the first touch point is social to see what you're doing, right? To get that company feel, that 100%. Company brand.
Yeah.
And then they go to search more, the Google, and then land on the site and either opt in or don't opt in. But that's the first touch point of many online, is that social media aspect.
You're 100% right. I mean, let's face it, guys. When was the last, finding customers? Honestly, I haven't really been on their website. I go to their social media page and connect and message them. And again, some yeses, some nos, but you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So what do you think about, coming from New York, New Jersey? How everybody's 100 miles per hour, but when you get to Naples, everything is completely different, right?
100%.
So you kind of have to, you're almost forced to slow down a bit, because people take it in a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think honestly, like people in Naples, you got to think, Naples is a bubble. People are here to, your typical age, it's typical age is, baby boomers, older people, and they want to relax. But, I think sometimes you have to adapt, and there's only so much you can do, right? When you leave a voicemail, text message, and they don't get back to you, there's only so much you can do. At the end of the day, you don't want to be that annoying roofer or metal roofing supplier. But I also do real estate as well, so I always follow up with people. And but real estate's it's a great side hustle. But again, I feel like there's more agents than listings. But it's just and that's another great thing to bring up is when you look at something like this, you look at real estate agents, they're the missing pieces to the puzzle, and I say to myself, what's my value proposition to them? And what I do is I use them as a resource. Hey, listen, if you have any questions about metal roofing and, when they're listening to home, maybe a roofer or, a homeowner needs to change the roof and they don't know what type of roofing system, please, I'm here to work with you. It's not like we're trying to compete against each other. I'm a resource. So I always try to emphasize that on social media. So, whether it's a real estate agent in Boca, Tallahassee, Tampa, it doesn't matter. All over the state, I'll help.
Yeah.
So you got to think of it like that, because that's my position is like, you have to figure out ways to create value, especially in real estate for other agents. They're the missing pieces of the puzzle. How can, my value proposition is being a resource, for roofing repairs and metal roofing installations.
Yeah. What's been some hurdles along the way?
Oh man. Went to war and back. I'll tell you what, when we first started American Metal Roofing Supply, I remember I was working on a Saturday and I delivered 24 gauge mill finish drip edge to a roofing contractor. He paid with a check. And then I remember 2 hours later, the owner called and literally went World War III on me, because we just started. We're still trying to figure it out. And, he said, you overcharged for drip edge, he yelled at me. And I said, listen, you know what? I apologize. Like anything else, we're not perfect. We just started literally 2 months in. We're 2 months in. I don't care about making money on this job. I'll refund it, do it for cost. I would rather have that long-term relationship, reduce my profit margins, and keep you as a long-term customer. What do I have to do that, sir? With all due respect, we just started 2 months ago. Bear with us. And we met and we shook hands. And, in the beginning, you're trying to figure it out, like with pricing and, but that's just I think with any entrepreneur startup, you go through hurdles, man. You go through war. You fall. People yell at you. People reject you. People make fun of you. You know how many times I've been made fun of? No, seriously. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I'm not in like that's why I have a therapist, guys. Like,
Why? Like, fun about
what? Do they say? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What do they say?
No, just like, why would you start this, this family business, or, even in the past, like, it's not just the metal roofing business, but my LinkedIn for, blue collar contacts. People like, it's funny because they'll laugh at you, right? And then once you start growing, they're like, "Oh man, I know you could do it." It's just like it's just.
Are you referring to like friends and family or no?
Yeah, friends and family, and kids I went to college with. It's just so funny how they make fun of you, like. With any entrepreneur, they say something like, I believe in this and that, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, right? Like, people make fun of me because I invest in crypto, and I think it's the future, but that's another topic for later. I just see that as the future, but back to this podcast, it's just, I love being different. I love being who I am, and I love helping people. And you know what? The greatest asset we have is it's not money, it's time. And that's something we don't get back, guys. I'm sorry. Like spending time with my daughter and my wife, like it's just amazing. I could never trade the world for it. Like I love
How old's your daughter?
Oh, she's 2 going on 31, man. She's so grown up. Oh man. She's gonna be that bougie girl going to Mercado and brunch Sundays and all that stuff. But they're my rock. My wife's amazing. Like literally, like she deserves the world. Like she's amazing. Like I even say it to myself, like, why is she with me? No, but you gotta be like she's a sweet Southern belle, from South Carolina, and I think it works because we complement each other. Like she brings down I remember meeting her friends in South Carolina. They're the sweetest people in America, man. And they talk, they call me Yankee, from the North, they call me Yankee and, all this crazy stuff. And they think I'm weird because I think differently, And I think when you travel to New York and New Jersey for it, because I used to go to New York Tech Day. So I met the guys that, I don't like to brag, I met the guys that were in Uber and
you can brag.
No, I don't know. But I met guys, when Facebook opened up their office in New York City, I did like a 5-minute pitch. And, everyone's like a tech nerd and, everyone's on the computer and, all that stuff. But and I'm glad I did work in Jersey, New York, because you see the whole world. New York's like a melting pot. You see the, people from all over the place, man. So then you go down south and, people are a little more closed-minded. Nothing against it's nothing personal, but they're not exposed to, diversity and culture and, but sweet people.
What are your goals with this company? Let's say 5 years from now.
To keep growing it and honestly travel, to Central and Northern Florida to reach more contractors and, maybe sell to a strategic buyer or a financial buyer, but keep growing it. But also at the same time, spending time with family. And, I think once you build a foundation, it's, spending time with your family too. It's they're my rock. So,
yeah. Are you, right now in your business, do you feel that you're very hands-on in the business?
I kind of, laid off a little bit. There's some just delegation. So basically right now what I do is not just social media, but bringing on new customers, giving them a tour. I can even do estimates and takeoffs, but now that we have a full estimation takeoff team, it definitely took some weight off my shoulders, but always looking to bring new customers on, because once you build a foundation, bring employees, I kind of help out with just bringing new customers and marketing and advertising. Yeah.
And you oversee everything, right?
A little bit. So right now, I'm pretty much in charge of outside sales and marketing. And my brother's the pretty much president CEO. The problem with me is I'm ADHD. So I can't sit in an office all day. I lose my mind. I need to be out and about because I think clearly. I don't know, but I love talking to people. My brother, I remember I did a tour to bring new customers on. And my brother's like, man, you like to talk a lot. I'm like, that's why you have a sales guy. That's like telling an estimator, wow, you do a lot of estimates. Well, that's my job, so.
You and your brother started the business?
Yeah. So long story short, my dad was a silent partner. To be completely transparent, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Yeah. I think being transparent with people, I had a great upbringing, I come from money, but at the end of the day, I've met a lot of kids that they come from money, but they don't have any purpose. Like all they want to do is party and do other stuff that for me, I need to have purpose. I need to have drive. My whole game plan is to inspire young people and be a resource. Maybe that 20-year-old kid that's still trying to figure out their lives. And it's like, listen, you still got plenty of time. Like, don't be hard on yourself. So I just want to, hopefully this podcast, I can inspire people to, they can give me a call, like literally, my number's on social media, but, I came from money. When I was born, I grew up middle class, cause it was a startup, that Stevens was small. Then we started growing. Then I realized we moved into a bigger home and I'm like, oh, wow. Like as a kid, you're like, I thought this was like the White House. This house is huge, but, the most important thing is I try to be humble and, because honestly, money doesn't do. I'm not trying to curse, but money doesn't do anything.
You if you want.
Okay, yeah, but money doesn't do anything. It's definitely a tool that alleviates problems. It doesn't bring happiness.
Right.
Yeah,
that's just my own personal opinion. I've seen people with money and. Yeah, I know. I just had to say it. But
do you think
you've been watching the podcast, right?
Yeah. Do you think it can buy happiness?
No, not at all.
No. What about buy moments and experiences and stuff like that?
It helps, but nothing beats going to your kids' games, walking your daughter down the aisle, doing all this stuff.
Your dad was really involved with your grandfather's business, right?
So actually, when my grandpa started the business, my dad had other business. He was a painter.
So he was in business. Did you spend a lot of time with your dad?
Yeah, my dad's my mentor. He's an amazing guy. But I think with business, it's always great to not just learn from him, but other entrepreneurs, and to be authentic and real with yourself, to learn from other people and to be your own person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like learning from him was great, but I'm that type of guy where I'll go to 3rd, 5th Avenue, have lunch, sit with that 73-year-old guy, and just nothing beats that, because it's, Naples is a bubble, and you get to meet other people that are other entrepreneurs and just kind of learn their stories, right? Mm-hmm. That's a great thing about Naples. We can all literally go to 3rd, 5th Avenue right now, have lunch and dinner, and meet that older couple. Let's face it, you go to 5th, 3rd Ave, there's people that might have money that do very well for themselves and are retired and just kind of learn. And the most important thing is to be yourself. But learn from other people, but you learn from other people and your parents, and then you just kind of mix it up together and be your own self, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think are, like, reflecting back on, how you grew up, and do you think that if you guys, let's say you struggled with money problems growing up, what are your overall thoughts around, like, what's the biggest difference in your opinion between the kid that grows up, financially stable versus one that doesn't?
That's a great question. I think it really depends. Like, so for me personally, when you hang out with other like-minded people, you become a product of your environment. So let's say if I grew up in the south side of Chicago and I had no money, it's just, it's sad. It is what it is, guys. But honestly, like, you become a product of your environment. If you grow up low income, I hate to say it, like, you just think like that. But I think when you have great mentors, I'm not going to lie to you, beat around the bush. I was blessed. But I took that opportunity, like, even at Ned Stevens, I took that opportunity to learn everything possible about that business. Mm-hmm. And just find ways to make it better, But it really depends on the,
individual.
It really depends who you hang out with. For me personally, and I'll tell you guys, like, for me, every time I hang out with friends or hang out with a group of people, I want to make sure that I'm the dumbest person in that room. Because if I know I'm the dumbest person in that room, I'm hanging out with people that are better than me, and it's going to make me better. If you hang out in a room with people that, they're just getting by and, all they want to do is drink, and, they're not bad people, but you just like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. I'm not growing, know? It's nothing personal. It's just, I'm being completely honest,
What's your, to you, what do you think is the most important things that an individual can possess as a person? What do you think are the most important things?
Just to gradually improve each day. We're all not perfect. Whether it's spending more time with your family, it's not just about work. It's, your family and spending time with kids. And, if you make extra money, sometimes I give out money and donate money to people, but honestly, just trying to be better every single day. It's not going to happen overnight. People don't understand delayed gratification. A lot of younger people are like, oh, I want this, this, and this. And I'm like, with all due respect, that's just not how it works. It takes time.
How do you feel when you donate?
I feel good. I think at the end of the day, if you're doing very well, I do believe that you help out people that are maybe not as blessed or fortunate, but there's only so much you can do. And I think at the end of the day, too, I think it's great to help out people, and then eventually they learn from that and they become a better person. But if it's just someone that just wants a handout and entitled, like, I had my Xbox stolen. I got screwed over at bottle service, when I was in college. I was a good basketball player. I played in college, and I helped out this my buddy. He was a really good basketball player, and he needed to work financially. He just wasn't doing well. So we actually hired him with our company. He worked for our labor department, and he was just acting weird, and he left in a week, and I was going to play Xbox and play my computer games, and he took my Apple computer and my Xbox and PS system worth $1,000 back in 2014 as a 25-year-old. That's a lot of money. And, the most important thing is you can help out, but make sure they learn from it. You don't want to keep on feeding someone and they just want a handout,
That's a great point.
I've gotten screwed so many times, man, and we won't get into it right now. Yeah.
Well, what's the 3 most important things to you in your life right now?
It's changed. Number 1 is my family. It's my wife, my daughter. Number 2 is my dad, my mom, my sister, my brother, my nieces, nephews, in-laws. And number 3, honestly, is just to work and network with like-minded people. Because what I realized, I love talking to other entrepreneurs. It's not just about like, oh, we have this, and this, but when you actually talk to them, it's like you learn their stories. You get inspired, right? Like, it's not about what they have. It's about, a lot of them are just interesting. You kind of listen to their stories, and it makes you a better person. Yeah. And if you're smart, when you hang out with people who are smarter than you look at them as inspiration. Some people are like, I can't believe he would say that. People naturally get jealous. Mm-hmm. But if you're smart, you would learn and be inspired and be like, wow, how'd you get there? How'd you get from point A to point B, right? So I look at it as not jealousy, but inspiration. How I can get to the next level and just learn. It's cool meeting older people, man. You get to learn their stories.
Yeah, 100%.
Because guess what? We're still young. We're still 20s, 30s, and it's great to hang out with older people and kind of learn their mess ups and their successes.
Yeah.
One of the things that contributes to happiness for me, it's being able to afford things that I can use to give value to others.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and this is one thing that I think about, because at some point, like we don't know if we're not asking this question the right way, but I think it's very direct, and I think it's a very simple question, but it trickles down to a lot of things. And I'm bringing it back because we have all this equipment, we have the offices, right? We were able to put together something
beautiful
nice,
office, by the way, very nice.
Working hard and everything. But then at the end of the day, it's always for somebody else, right? It's always to give value to others, and it just blows my mind when not you, just anybody that we ask this question: does money can you buy happiness with money?
No, you cannot. It's literally, it's because I met so many people that do way better than me, and I'm not going to say names, but they're miserable. Money does not bring happiness. Spending time with your loved one brings happiness. The greatest asset in our lifetime is time. And guess what? And we're not getting that back. As we get older, we lose time and we become a depreciating asset and we die.
How do you buy time?
Literally spending time. Like, I love spending time with my daughter. I feel like it takes longer time. Like, I enjoy it. Like, it's fun as much as she gets.
What do you like to do with her?
Wait, but how do you break free from time? Because think about it, right?
That's a great question.
A lot of people majority of people wake up and you're rushing to work, rushing to get back to work during the lunch break. Then you're rushing home and you're spending a lot of time, right? Like, let's say you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And, both people are going to work separate jobs, because that's the common thing.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you're spending more time with your coworkers than you are with the people.
And that's why that's a great question. Honestly, when I first moved back to Florida, I actually was a data analyst for a debt collections company. Literally, like, shoot me in the head, I'll never do it again. No, that's just me. It's not. I'm a rebel. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. We have these weekly meetings to go over stuff. And I felt like I was in Office Space. Remember that movie? Office Space with what are the actors' names? I don't know, but I knew that if I wanted to do what I want, also the other thing, it's not about money. If you make 10 million and I make 100,000, it doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom to do what you want to do. And I love what I do. I can wake up, have a cup of coffee, answer emails, follow up with leads.
But you come from money. So your situation is kind of different than someone that.
In all due respect, I do agree with you. However, I'm not gonna lie. Like with Ned Stevens, I honestly didn't do anything like besides the blue collar contacts. But with this, we grew from the ground. Like we literally grew from the ground up. Yes, I might come from money, like 100%. I'm not saying that, but
which is great.
Yeah, that's not. It's great.
I think it's just. I think it
100%.
So I think it's just a position that you were born in, and it's great. I mean, if you have your values where they need to be, it's amazing that you can put your kids into a different position so that they don't have to struggle.
100%
to make the game easier, right? Because this is all a game. So every time that we have a discussion with everybody, what they think, and everybody, everybody's right because everybody can think whatever they want, right? But I feel like we're all playing in the same game.
Yeah.
It's like we're playing Monopoly and we say that money is not important. How can we play Monopoly, right? Yeah. So now are we saying you're miserable and can you buy happiness? Can you turn your mood with money? We're not saying that. What we're asking really when we ask this question, hopefully for future people that are coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's more like if you are already in a good position, right? You're already happy. Can you maximize happiness with it, or can you do? Because at the end of the day, you do everything with it, right?
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do of who you are or how you feel at the moment.
Yeah.
It's more like, it's a tool. What can we do with it? Right?
Yeah.
So
I think
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I think with this business too, it's like, literally we had a silent partner and basically said, figure it out. And I remember times when we had a customer came 2 consecutive weekends to our office in Fort Myers. And I'm like, guys, and the guy's like, no one's here. I have to drop off a check for X amount. It was our first big job. I'm like, guys, no one's here. Like, we're supposed to be here on Saturdays. Like, what's going on? It got so bad where the employees didn't show up where I'm like, sir, where do you live? I'm in Arcadia. So I drove 9:30 at night to go to Arcadia to pick up the check so we can get the job. I think, too, what we learned is when you have skin in the game, you'll do whatever it takes to get that job. Like, I could have sat home, had a glass of wine, watched the news, just chill, but I feel like when you have skin in the game and you have ownership, you'll do whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not making this up. I literally did drive to Arcadia to pick up the check because when it's your first check, big job, you do whatever you can to get that job. And that's 100% a true story. I'm not making that. I remember exactly. It was a 24 gauge mill finish nail strip in Arcadia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, a lot of people, like you said, that work the 9 to 5, they're at the office. Okay. It's 4:50. All right. Another 10 minutes. Okay. I feel like when you have skin in the game, you care. Trust me. I'll drive. I'll go to the office at 3 a.m, man.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's for people that are, there's nothing wrong with whatever anybody wants to do, job wise, At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter whether you want to own a business, work. It really doesn't matter. But for 100%. People that want to do something different and have never been in business and have worked for somebody else for, let's say, 10 plus years, it must feel a little frustrating because it's terrifying to make that leap and that jump.
100%. And I think, you're 100% right. I think what's so great about people is everyone is so unique in their own ways. So just because someone, might make not as much money, they're still everyone's so talented. We can all learn from each other. Mm-hmm. I have strengths and weaknesses, so just because, I only make this and someone makes this that does not mean they could be a great babysitter. They could be a great whatever, so money doesn't equate to skill. Like teachers are amazing. Policemen are amazing. Firefighters are amazing. you know, obviously don't make much as business owners. That doesn't matter. They're still great people. And that's the thing is like, you know, when my wife went into labor, you know, my daughter was born, I bought everyone on the floor lunch. I got everyone Jersey Mike's, and I said, you guys are the real heroes. Like, you guys are amazing. I could never do, I threw up when my wife gave birth, by the way, because I couldn't deal with, like, no, true story. So my wife was giving labor back in 2021, and I wasn't, like, for me, I'm not good with cutting the umbilical cord and the...
well, now you know. Now next time, have the doctor do it.
But I thought the nurses were amazing. And so I bought everyone sandwiches, Jersey Mike's, Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, listen, you guys are amazing people. And
did you do it? Did you cut the umbilical?
No, I did not. No. No. That's one thing. It's science and all that stuff. Is we don't get along very well. Yeah, man. Hey, again, like I said, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. I'm a horrible cleaner, but I'm good with numbers. You know, like my wife's a great cleaner. You know, sometimes I might not clean it right away. I take my time, but again, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like the new, all the new thinking with the younger generation? Like,
I think it's very interesting. Right? It's very, it's my own personal opinion. I feel like it's sad. I feel like a lot of people, you know, have this instant gratification of being a YouTube influencer and an Instagram influencer. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of younger women, there's been a huge division, right, between young men and women. Women want to be on these platforms like OnlyFans and expose, or, you know, I'm not going to get into detail, but that's just, I think people are so dependent on technology. So many people are on their phones. I'm guilty. I'm not going to lie. I'm on my phone all the time, but I feel like there's a huge divide, you know, and I feel like everyone's so, you know, when we're growing up, everyone went outside and played games. You ride your bike to your friend's house and you know, every now and then, woods. Play capture the flag, or, you know, I think one time, you know, we played Nintendo 64, but we also went outside and were active. We were talking and conversing, and, you know, we were on AOL and MySpace, and now all these young kids, you know, want to be YouTube influencers, and some of it's great, some of it's positive. Like there's some people that vlog and go to, like I watch this guy Drew Binsky, and he travels all over the world. He's been to every country, and he like tells us the education, the demographics. Some of it's educational, some of it's just stupid, you know. No, being honest, like it's just
everything's changed, right? The way of thinking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new thinking.
AI is going to take over. Artificial intelligence is going to take a lot of manufacturing jobs that could affect our industry. You know, you know, even if you go to your local fast food restaurant now, you go to McDonald's, everything's on the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All right, like how many? I don't have a lot of overhead now because everything's so technologically advanced. You know, so. It's crazy.
It's true. We just went to a place in Orlando that was like a pancake shop.
Oh, cool.
And it was like the way that you order is just on the screens. There is no...
Which they shouldn't even have the option. Well, I mean, no, I guess because there are people behind you actually doing the work. But sometimes even like going to the grocery store or something, and you're doing all this stuff yourself now because it's all advanced. Yeah. And like sometimes when it asks to tip, it's like... Who am I tipping? I just checked myself. Zero. Depending what you're ordering or doing, you know?
But
so it's crazy.
I think sometimes too, I do miss the traditional ways of that waiter and waitress coming. Hey, how's it going? How's the family? You know, your local town restaurant and, you know, the old traditional ways. But,
oh, that's what made me upset about Orlando. We went to a Buffalo Wild Wings over there, and literally we get in there and they're just like, just use the QR code on the table, walked away. and then luckily another guy came back because the QR code wasn't working. So the other guy's like, oh, would you like a water? Well, like at least
I told Shay,
he served us.
I was like, damn, this is a little too modern for me. Like I like certain things that are modern, but going to a restaurant.
For me, looking at a menu and the phone is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, even for the payment.
Annoying.
Yeah,
my phone was dying. He was like, scan right here and do the payment.
And then it wouldn't work. They wouldn't take his card on the thing, so he finally took it to a register and swiped the card. It's like, oh my god.
Pros and cons, right? I mean, like for that, you want the traditional talking to the waiter and waitress.
I like a lot of traditional ways of thinking. To be honest,
I tell you what, I love Uber, man.
Uber?
Uber's awesome, man. Uber's
You Uber a lot?
oh man.
Here?
9 years ago, I was Uber's best customer, man, because I got arrested for a reckless driving charge in New Jersey, and I think that's the reason why the stock went up. The catalyst was just me getting arrested, and I was going through a yellow turning red light in a small town in New Jersey where the worst thing happens is 2 kids, file a lawsuit, right? It's like a Richie preppy town in Madison, New Jersey, and I got a reckless driving charge. It was a company vehicle, and I had to take an Uber for 7 or 8 months.
Oh, wow.
I think the CEO's base salary was like 50 million because of my mess. Bro, I spent a lot on Uber, man. I got reward systems because I was Uber's best customer.
That's
we went to New York one time, and it was in the summer, so it was hot. But we wanted to do the subway experience.
Oh, don't do it!
We did it one
dirty,
time.
right?
Yeah,
New
one
York?
time. Yeah, New York. We did it once, and then the rest of the trip was just Uber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was watching the news.
We probably
Heard
spend more on
horrible
Uber
things.
than actually.
Never doing something
Yeah,
again.
we spent a lot on Uber.
it's so funny. So it's so funny because a lot of people let's go through the New York subway systems. Now you can't because people are getting pushed
crazy,
on
right?
this. So it's crazy,
People are
but
getting killed.
it's
left and
crazy.
right.
It's
That's
crazy.
scary.
But I went to school in DC, and the train systems there were amazing, super clean, and they had an ad campaign that made fun of metro systems in New York. We don't have these big critters in our systems. It was a huge rat.
Oh my god.
But yeah, New York's it's definitely changed. I'm not going to get into detail about everything about what's going on in New York and up north, but yeah, I love it down here. I love Naples, and my friends are still trying to figure out their lives, and they're Naples is so boring. I'm I like boring. I love the Gulf of Mexico and palm trees. I'm honestly a very simple guy, man.
I feel like Naples was boring. I don't feel like it's boring now.
It's
I
And
growing
there's a
lot.
lot
so
of cool
much.
concepts popping up.
I
of
think a
places
lot
to
of
go.
young professionals are moving to Bonita, Estero, Fort Myers. Bonita, they just opened up a food truck. Fort Myers, they just opened up a food truck center. This area is definitely growing. you know?
Yeah.
What we passed.
What do you think are some of your weaknesses that you think that
The list goes on forever.
What do you think
About to be J.K. Rowling. I'm about to write a 200-page book. I have so many weaknesses, man. I'm extremely impatient. I'm ADHD. Sometimes I simply forget things, and it's nothing against my wife. It's so funny. Once you're married, you learn more about yourself besides, as opposed to being single. My wife's because you always have someone observing you. You're with someone. You get to learn other people's weaknesses. But yeah, I'm impatient. I'm a little messy compared to my wife. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I could be a little rude and transparent, but I'm not trying to be. For example, one time we went out to dinner in South Carolina. We went to this really good Japanese restaurant, and I had to ask the lady 3 times what I wanted to drink. So, nice Southern lady. So the 3rd time she went up to me, he's sir, what do you want to drink again? Like that. And I'm all right. And, all right, for the 3rd time, I want a glass of Pinot Noir. And they're well, you don't have to be so rude. And I'm well, I mean, how many times do I have to say it? But, no, that's, I'm not perfect whatsoever. Back in my day, in my 20s, I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I cut that out. I just stick to wine because you know what? When you truly love someone, like my wife, you do whatever it takes. It got so bad where it almost really affected our marriage. And now I just kind of stick to a couple glasses of red wine and I'm good.
Yeah.
What's an advice that you would give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are going to start their journey in business?
That's a great question.
One came straight from the top of my head.
No, honestly, leverage your network, grow your network, work 7 days a week, especially in your 20s. Because I made a lot of mistakes in my 20s when I realized I should have worked on the weekends. I didn't. But especially if you're single and you're young, grind as much as you can. Mark Cuban said it best, business, when you own your own business, it's 24/7. Grind it out, because once you have kids and a wife, it becomes a balance, But when you're young and hungry, leverage your network, hang out with older people, go to Fifth and Third Avenue and meet older people, go to networking events, and
I like that. And then what do you think, let's say phases, right? What do you think in your 20s someone should do versus in their 30s and then in their 40s? Like, what do you think those phases are?
20s is the era of learning. It's a great era because, let's say you have a business and it doesn't work out. It's not the end of the world. You're still trying to figure it out. Calm down. Because a lot of young kids are like, I should be making $300,000 a year and do this and blah, blah, blah. Well, no, that's not reality. Because a lot of people watch these gurus on the internet and like, well, if Andrew Tate can do it, I can make $20 million a year. And that's just not reality. I think you just have to learn as much as you can in your 20s and then your 30s. It's not about you anymore. It's about your family. And invest your money as much as you can. I don't put my money in a savings account because, inflation's crazy right now. I want my money to work for me. And, my wife and my friends are like, well, you're so cheap and frugal and all this stuff. But I'm like,
Where are you putting it?
Man, I mix it up. No, it's great. No, that's a great question. I mix it up.
Crypto.
Commodity, gold, silver, crypto. I believe in crypto as the future, honestly. And the funny thing is a lot of baby boomers and a lot of older people say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to zero and all this. And I think it's the future. I think there will be a digital currency that's decentralized. And the government hates Bitcoin because they can't regulate it. It's decentralized.
Right.
So if the United States says, I can't curse on this, right?
Yeah, man.
Oh, if the government says...
Please. Go ahead.
If the government says screw crypto or fuck crypto, then other countries are endorsing it. Like I think Honduras is a big supporter. El Salvador, yeah.
Actually,
right?
the president of El Salvador,
he's a big
he just did a big conference about. You have to watch it because
there's a big crypto guy right here.
No, let's connect. So you know what? I have a buddy that's a crypto educator. He teaches students about different cryptos and alternative coins. His name's Hirsch. He's a really sharp guy, man. He's crazy. They actually run a solar business. I'd love to connect with you. They're 20-year-olds. They act like they're just so mature. Like they're just so sophisticated. But
where are they? In Naples?
One's in Lehigh Acres and the other one's in Fort Lauderdale. It's a partnership. They run a solar business. So I give them leads, they give me leads for metals. So it's like, we're kind of like a team, like Batman and Robin, right? Like it's kind of a compliment. No, but back to what you're saying. So crypto, gold, silver. I don't really like the US dollar because you have to understand and this is just research I've done, like they said since 2017, the US Treasury has produced more money since the establishment of this country back in 1776. So if you're printing so much money, the dollar is going to get devalued. How much money can you print? Like, if I keep printing money, it's just going to eventually lose value. Mm-hmm. So I feel like looking into other assets like Bitcoin, crypto, gold, silver, real estate, definitely diversify. Don't have your money just sitting there. Let your money work for you.
Mm-hmm. What about real estate? What do you think about real estate?
Real estate's good. So, our family I'm not really involved, but our family runs a real estate holdings company. I'm also an agent as well. So, I have a listing actually in Fort Myers Beach, but, it's good. I think there's always a demand for people to live, move, I think it's something to stay. And, I'm not as involved with that, but mostly it's the metal roofing and selling, real estate. But Fort Myers Beach, my listing, it's a hard sell. I think after Hurricane Ian, people have this phobia of what if another hurricane hits, and the lack of amenities and attractions. And, all these agents on Fort Myers Beach are like, we have Margaritaville Resort and Publix. I'm like, how many times can you get drunk and eat? Like, please tell me that. So I think long term, it's a great investment. Right now, it's just a hard sell because there's nothing to do on the island. You even have to leave the island just to get gas.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's a great I think it's going to be
a
like
great opportunity, right?
It's going to be Charleston 2.0 in the next. I mean, the homes that they're building is crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. So we're gonna go into some rapid fire questions. These are just random fun questions. What digital or software tools do you use daily to make your life easier?
That's a great question. Bloomberg, Thinkorswim. I also trade stocks too. I do like day trading a little bit, not a lot. So Thinkorswim, Bloomberg. I mean, just reading. I read a lot.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
If you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Shit, that's a good one. Sushi from Namba right in Naples. I don't know if you guys been there yet. That place is amazing. Namba.
Never been.
So it's
new?
so good. Oh my god, we got to go there to celebrate. It's a long story short. The guy that owns it used to work for Nobu. It's like a big Nobu's like all over the United States, Miami, Malibu. He started his own business. It's right on Vanderbilt and 41, right in the Publix Plaza. You know on Vanderbilt and 41, right across from Mercado. Yeah. It's in the Publix Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
So Namba, best, hands down, I'll say it, the best sushi place in Naples.
Vanderbilt and 41?
Have to go now.
It's in Publix. You know where
by
LA Fitness. Across the street. You know where the Publix is.
It's in that plaza?
Oh, it's so good. You know what?
Is it new?
No, it's been there for a couple of years. I want to say 4 or 5 years.
So it's a hidden.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you feel like you're like in a hole in a wall. Yeah. Like it's small, but you're gonna pay a little extra, but you get what you pay for, right? So
what do you recommend? Nice little California roll.
The dynamite roll.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love
miso. The miso
What's
soup.
the dynamite roll like? Describe it.
So basically, it's like spicy crab. Absolutely.
Because the dynamite roll at Ocean Prime is.
Oh, it's cool. No, I've been there. Yeah, dude.
It's super good. Right?
He's a foodie.
Dude, I've been. Oh, that place is good. No, literally, it's like soy paper, rice, and like spicy crab with like mayo. It's like.
Damn, I've been craving sushi.
Is it similar? Is it similar to the?
I know the one you're talking about.
It's
Ocean
super
Prime,
good though, right? With the toppings on top.
Namba's, I think, my own personal opinion, Namba's better.
Better, okay.
This place.
You're gonna go.
No,
seriously.
Home,
so I'm telling you, if you guys want this week or next week, we can all go to Namba. Seriously, you guys seem really cool. I don't have any friends. Like all my friends are like, I have no friends.
Are you here in Naples?
I am. I'm like in Golden Gate Estate. So if you just take Vanderbilt Beach Road.
Yeah, we're
out there.
Yeah,
wait, where?
In
Right
Immokalee and
before the
Collier.
States.
Immokalee, Collier, you know Chick-fil-A, Founder Square Plaza.
Dude, I'm like, we're like neighbors. I'm literally like 5-10 minutes from you guys. I'm not far at all.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No,
like,
we'll definitely check out that.
My wife's the biggest. If you don't get along with my wife, there's like something wrong with you.
No, we'll check out Namba's, right?
NAMBA. And I promise you, we'll go there. But if you ever go by yourself, you don't like it, I will pay for you. Dude, that's how confident I am, man. I'm that confident.
No, we'll try it out for sure.
Hey, we're promoting them. They should give us a little discount.
Do you prefer winter or summer?
Oh, summer all day.
Summer?
Yeah.
What's your favorite holiday?
Oh man. It's weird. Like I like summer, but I also kind of do miss the fall. Like the fall is really underrated. Like
what about like specific holiday?
Oh, my favorite I'm not really big Christmas. You know what? Right now, I think it's Halloween because taking my daughter out and then she's seeing costumes and like freaking out and running the other way. Like it's priceless. She started crying. So right now, I think it's Halloween. Just seeing my daughter, seeing her growing in development is priceless. That's the real wealth, man. Seeing your kid. Do you guys have kids?
Yeah.
So like seeing how old are your kids?
9 and 5.
Oh, okay. So, like, it's cool, especially, my daughter's only 2, so it's, like, really cool to see her develop and stuff. So.
And it flies by, because you said 9 and 5, and I'm like, oh my God.
I
keep telling everybody they're 4 and 2.
Yeah.
Why? They ask me, how old are your nieces?
thinking
I
of
keep
that.
saying 4 and 2. They're 9 and 5 right now?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I'm joking. I knew it. All right. Do you prefer to relax at the beach or pool?
Shit. Oh, that's a great one. I would have to say both are really. That's a tough. Like honestly, it's like that's a tough one. But I would have to say pool because then you have access to drinks and like wine and like you go. I know we're talking about the alcohol.
Fifth Avenue or Mercado?
First world problems. No.
Yeah.
For Fifth Ave or Mercado, they're both great places, but I would have to say Mercado because it's closer. But they're both. It's like it's like you're.
They really are great.
It depends
process.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you can only work 2 hours a week, what would you do in those 2 hours?
You know what? As I'm getting older, and I know I'm still like an infant for like Naples, but I would love to kind of just be like a motivator or just kind of influence young entrepreneurs just to help them out. Like, I would love to like meet younger people. I want to make a difference and kind of be a resource and and kind of go over my struggles and because honestly, man, I had a lot of mess ups growing up, and I think that's a lot of young entrepreneurs is they go through like I went through hell, man. I almost died. There was like a lot of crazy shit that happens, but yeah, I would love to help young kids. Just teach them guidance. So true story. I was in New Jersey. I actually helped out this young man that had no guidance. His father left him when he was young, and I just told him, listen, every time you get paid, you should put 15-20%. in an S&P 500 or an investment account, and just kind of, I love helping people, man. Seriously, I do. So I don't know, just help young people that need help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you recommend a book to read?
Oh shit. There's a lot of great books out there. Books are great, but experimental learning you can't beat. Learning on the job,
like hands-on learning.
Yeah, but I would say my favorite book is I've read some books from Robert Kiyosaki, some Dave Ramsey, but they're polar opposite guys, right? Like they talk about Dave Ramsey's no debt, and then
what do you think about that?
That's a great question. I think I don't have a problem with that. I think if you over leverage, that's an issue, but people leverage real estate all the time. People get financing from banks to buy commercial real estate and make a lot of money because I think real estate long-term appreciates. So I see where they're both coming from, but I think you need a mixture of both.
Were you close with your grandfather?
A little bit. He was very interesting. Every now and then, I would see him, but he passed away back in 2011. Yeah.
What do you think his opinion would be on no debt?
He would be against. He was very frugal and cheap. He grew up. The great thing about my grandfather is like he grew up in a time where it was the end of the Depression. Actually, my whole family was entrepreneurs. So my great grandfather ran one of the biggest accounting firms in New Jersey, and he had maids, butlers, like had a great lifestyle. And true story, his brother was his financial planner. My great grandfather's brother was the financial planner, and said, "Listen, if anything happens, I want to make sure my family's taken care of." And I think he had some type of aneurysm and died. And his brother took all of his assets and run.
Oh my god!
Just pieced out. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
And grew up. So he would literally try to go to jail just to get food. Like he would commit crimes, like throw rocks at windows just to get a free meal in jail. That's a true story. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know I went all over the place.
Yeah.
ADHD.
You blew my mind on that one.
If you can have lunch with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
This is such a great question. I would have to say
you girls have the giggles today.
What is this something I did? Or, I don't know.
Sounds funny.
That's a great question, and you guys are gonna laugh, but I'm dead serious. I think I would love to. You're gonna laugh. I don't know if you're gonna take me serious, but honestly, I would love to have lunch with William Wallace from Braveheart.
Okay,
because he kind of.
That's not bad. The name I had, I thought
he was going to Mickey Mouse or something.
No. But William Wallace.
You were going to say Shakira.
I like the story, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Braveheart, because he kind of gave a message like, you know, they were the underdogs in battle and they weren't supposed to win, and you know, he had perseverance and cared about his country. I know I'm like all over the place.
No.
No,
I watched Braveheart probably 10,000 times.
Yeah, that's a good answer. What's your favorite restaurant in Naples?
Namba.
But there are some other good restaurants. I mean, I've been here for 28 years. Do you guys like Italian?
Oh, yeah.
We've been going to our friend's restaurant for 21 years. It's called Amore Ristorante. AM. It's actually, guys, it's right across the street. Actually,
Never been.
you know, Neapolitan Plaza.
They've been here 21 years.
They've been along the Amore restaurant. It's like, do you know where that Publix is in Neapolitan?
Yeah.
It's right in there. It's like right next to D'Amico and Sons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's right. Really good Italian restaurant. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I got a good one for you.
I know,
what's it
I'm already
called?
thinking about it.
Yeah. Mino's.
I've heard of it. Wait, where is that?
It's in Tin
City.
City.
Tin Cities. Okay, I gotta check.
Right
Yeah,
by
dockside.
You can't go wrong with Naples, guys. There's so many great. We're all spoiled, you know. Like,
But you have to try this place, man. If you like
Mino's?
Italian food,
Oh, I love
super
it.
good. When you think of the word successful, who comes to mind?
I mean, there's a lot of great people. I think of my dad. I think of Elon, Steve Jobs, Larry Ellison. You know, Thomas Edison.
Elon's a popular one. We've gotten Elon.
Elon's he's very interesting.
Yeah. If you can choose any other career path, what would it be?
That's a great one. I mean, I love numbers. I would a trader or either that or a basketball agent or a trader. I love the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's been your best investment?
I think the best investment, it's not even about the money. It's about, I think it's health, you know, taking care of my health, my wife, my daughter. You know, people think the best investment, you know, they think about money.
Yeah.
It's been my health. You know, I think when I first moved down here, I lost like 30 pounds. I literally just stopped eating cannolis and pizza from New Jersey, and it just went off.
Yeah.
The food up north is so good, by the way.
Yeah.
I tell people, if you're bulimic in Naples and you want to gain weight, just move to New Jersey, New York. Just eat a cannoli. Trust me, you'll be on 300-pound life or whatever that show's called. Or, you know.
My last question: what's a bad piece of advice you've heard people telling others?
Eat cannoli.
Oh, well, yeah. You know, find that secure job and, you know, work at a company that offers great benefits and stuff, which is, again, like you said, it's good, but it's not for everyone, you know? But, you know, you have to go to college. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Experimental learning and getting a job is 10 times better. Just because you have a fancy Harvard degree or Yale degree does not mean, if you don't have street smarts, dude, it doesn't matter, you know?
And everybody goes through their learning phase in a different way. Some go through it the college route. Others go through it, like you said, hands-on, start up a business or go and work for somebody that they can learn and then apply it to a business. And then everybody kind of gets into that after the learning phase, their
100%.
earning phase.
I think college is great if, you know, again, you want to be a doctor, accountant, you know, the attorney, you know, the list goes on. But if you're going to go to college for basket weaving 101 or some of these gen ed degrees, I think it's a waste of time personally.
Journalism.
Yeah, and not everybody wants the same thing, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Or knows the same thing.
Yeah. I think it's great. What DeSantis, you know, I'm not trying to get into politics, but, you know, DeSantis building vocational and trade schools, and imagine that 18-year-old kid graduating high school and automatically making 80 to 100,000 by learning a trade. I think people look down upon, plumbers, trade workers, all that fun stuff, just because they don't have a fancy degree and they're not a white collar consultant or whatever the case might be. They kind of look down upon, like it's a little condescending, but think about it. Making 80, 100,000 with no debt, with no student loans. How can you beat that?
Yeah.
And they're like the backbone. Everyone needs them.
Those service-based companies are great.
100%.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you so much for.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Today.
You guys seem really cool, and thank you for having me. I'm deeply humbled, and I would like to keep this long-term relationship. And if you guys need anything and hang out, I'm very simple, man. So.
Oh, likewise, man. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. We really do.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the present.
I got more, by the way. So
we appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.